WWE is in some hot water. We'll talk about it. Welcome to the Wrestling Council. Welcome to the Wrestling Council. I'm your host, Comic Book Bob. Joined as always with my good friend, Hollywood Frank.
Let's do this, baby.
Yep, you can catch us here every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, usually talking about all the news of wrestling. Life happens, though. We're going a little late tonight.
Yep.
You can also follow us on social media and in the description below. And happy birthday to Hollywood.
It is my day today. Yeah.
Yeah, boy. You're getting old, man. We're getting old.
Yeah, we are.
Oh man, I'm still dealing with this freaking foot injury thing, man. And then now because I'm favoring it, my knee's starting to bother me. I'm breaking one thing, and then as soon as one starts to heal, I break the other.
Of course. We all do that.
Crazy, man. Gotta get the vitamins in. Gotta drinking my creatine. Taking my ashwagandha. Trying to fight back against Father Time, but Father Time is undefeated.
He is. He definitely is.
Yep. How old, my brother? How old?
Me?
Well,
57, sir.
57 years old. 57 times around the sun. Thank you, Lord.
And be like Ricky Bobby. Ricky Bobby said, no reason why I can't live to be 120, 130 years old.
Well, hey, man. It's like the Bible said, 420. But appreciate everybody being here. We're going to wait a little bit just to let everybody trickle in. And, man, so this was a weird week of wrestling, dude. Did you watch Raw?
Not really, because I had to I had to work overnight last night. I had to be in at work at 11. Work overnight for inventory. I could care less about these contract signings, though.
Oh yeah, I don't really give a crap about them either. I do think there's some interesting things about it. Most of the contract signings, honestly, from both sides are just kind of like okay. I wish all the people the best.
Yep.
I hope they get the best deal they possibly can. I hope they make a good living. I hope everything turns out well. But it's just, a lot of it's just, some people are making things out of it that I'm like, I don't know where they think these things are going. So,
who knows?
But we'll see. I wish them all luck. They're going to need it.
Yep.
But let me fix this real quick here. Fix the banner there. Let's go ahead and check in real quick. Video. Big Daddy was first. He was way early when we were first going to that. Hey yo, I'll be back for the show time. Hey yo, Big Daddy, appreciate you being here, sir. Playing some cool videos this week. But here's your hey yo, Big Daddy.
Hey yo.
He was watching, I think it was Chi-Town Rumble 90, was it 1990, I think? Can't remember. But I was thinking back. I was like, thinking back to some of those old shows, man. That would be a cool idea for a segment to do in the middle of the week. You just pick an old show and talk about it. Because I still contend like back then. And I think that show was I might be wrong, but I know the Chi-Town Rumble was I think it was the third and final chapter of Steamboat Flair.
Yeah.
And that to me, still to this day, Steamboat Flair that's the gold standard to me for feuds, man. Because it was, I mean, my God, it was so good.
Well, you don't see that anymore.
No, you don't.
Wrestling anymore.
Yeah. And I think and that came immediately after that. Came Flair's. He had his. I think it was his last feud with God, my brain just took a crap. He started his feud with
Dusty.
No. It was his final feud with oh my God, Funk, with Terry Funk.
Mm.
And it was Funk was coming back from Hollywood. Flair, they were saying, was at the end of he was starting a downturn in his career. And he and Funk started a feud, and it wasn't a long feud, but man, it was good. And it was both of them just kind of showing like, hey, no, we still got something in the tank here. So, but yeah, it was, and then talking about the Midnight Express and how underappreciated Bobby Eaton was as a wrestler. And that was one of the things, because I always liked the Midnight Express, but and Bobby Eaton was an awesome worker. I didn't realize how widely respected he really was until later, when people were talking about like he would take them under their wing, and he would just show them how much better he was than everybody else. And it was just like, because it was like when he threw a punch, man, it looked like he was trying to kill you, but it felt like a whisper, and he was one of those guys that felt like if he's throwing a move and you can feel it, he's not doing it right. Yep. So, and everything he did, and I remember everyone talking about how like that knee drop he would do off the second turnbuckle was like, people tried to recreate it, and they just couldn't do it the way he did it, man. Because they said that he'd come off that thing with that knee, and it looked like he buried it into your throat, and he didn't even touch you. You didn't feel a thing. So that's how polished he was. That's when that's the word that everybody used, was polished. So, but yeah, it's just we don't get stuff like that anymore. You know what I mean? We don't get that. What's that?
Definitely do not.
We don't get I miss that. I miss the magazines. It was I would say that was during the heyday of professional wrestling. Like that 25-year period from like 1975 to like 2000 to like 1999, 2000. Like that's the golden era of wrestling, in my opinion. Because the people that came out that were in those eras, man, we're still talking about them. We're still comparing everyone to them today. So, but it was just a cool idea. Something like me and you, we'll talk about maybe doing something like that. I know the first one that I want to do, man, is freaking Halloween Havoc 97. God dang, dude, that's anybody that watches this program later on and is like, have never seen that, never seen those old pay-per-views like that. Halloween Havoc 97 had one of the greatest matches I've ever seen in my entire life, and it was Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero. And it's another one of those matches that people still talk about today. I can't remember what match it was. It was recently. It was like last year. But there was a match where literally they choreographed their match to match up exactly with every single move that happened in that match. That's how good, and that's how legendary that match is, man. But yeah, that's another thing we'll be talking about. But before we do that, got a little something we need to do. We haven't done it in a while. We're bringing it back. It's called the good, the bad, and the ugly is a even number show. So you know what that means. It's that guy. What you got, brother?
I'm odd. You're even.
I know. I was just seeing if you'd bite on it because I didn't have my thing up yet. Okay, here we go. All right, so my good. All right, we're gonna start off with some actual good, some feel good stuff here. So first and foremost, good. I like the push that Chad Gable's getting. I don't know if it's sustainable. I don't know if it's going to work out the way that I hope it does. But the fact that he's at the very least, I personally think that he's world title material. I personally think that. I think if they do him right, he could be, like I said, he could be the next friggin' Bryan Danielson. He could be the next ultimate underdog. And at least he's going to win the IC title. I think that's a foregone conclusion. I think at SummerSlam he gets his belt. Now, how they book him after that and what they do, we'll see. There's some really, really good talent there in the friggin' mid card right now.
Yep.
You know, you got him. You got guys like Ricky Starks. You got Penta. You've got Ethan Page. You've got, Obafemi hasn't won a singles title yet. You could have him in there. I mean, they seem destined to push him with Brock, though. But after that, who knows? There's a lot of guys that there's some really good talent in that mid card that they could really use to help build him. So we'll see. But another good thing, somebody finally coming off the injured list, Buddy Matthews.
Yes.
Putting out a message saying that he's pretty much being cleared for an AEW return, and that's going to be great, man. Because Buddy Matthews is one of those guys. He's amazing in the ring, and him coming back, man. The matches that he could have with Kyle Fletcher, the matches he could have with guys like Swerve, guys like Ospreay. Buddy Matthews is awesome. And him coming back is only a good thing. So glad to see him coming out. He was at not so good news. It was kind of funny though. He was at the slap fights with Rhea Ripley when Jack Hager got Jack Swagger got his freaking block knocked off.
Yep.
By, and I can't remember his name now, but it was by a former TNA wrestler. But that was cool. And so yeah, Buddy Matthews coming back. That's only a good thing. The bad, Tony Khan still can't book big men.
Just lost one.
Yep. He just lost, in my opinion, he lost one of the best big men in the business. Bill Morrissey, aka Big Cass, headed back to WWE. Like I said, good for him. Hope he gets everything he wants. We know that the contract situation there is a little squirrely. But there's people are different thoughts about what's best for him and what's best for them to do to for him to be the most successful. But we'll see.
Yep.
But Malacito said, "Sup, people just want to stop by and say hi. I can't stay, but have a great show." Yep, no problem, Malacito. You be safe, brother. But yeah, and when he came to AEW, I was really excited because he'd been doing some really good things in TNA. He's one of the best big men working in the business right now, and we just never got a chance to see it, which is unfortunate. So we will we'll have to wait and see how WWE handle him. But I'm I'm one of the people that thinks, look, if they have any plans for him beyond being a mid card guy in any way, shape, or form, I don't think him coming back with Enzo is a good idea. I mean, Enzo is a mouthpiece, maybe okay, but if they're going to push him, you know, in any way, shape, or form beyond the mid card, yeah, I don't think him coming back with that. If all they see him as is as a tag team guy, then fine, put him with Enzo, then they'll be good. But I don't know. I want to see. We have not seen, like, that's why I'm excited for Obafemi, because we have not seen a big man break out in a long time. Even in WWE, we haven't seen a big man like a big man truly break out in a while, and I want to see it.
No.
So we'll see what happens. And then the ugly, unfortunately, health problems continue for Jim Ross. He recently revealed that he's going in for brain surgery. That should be happening sometime this week, if it hasn't happened already. It is a condition that it is treatable, so that's a good thing. So thoughts and prayers go out to old JR, and hopefully he recovers and we get to keep him around for a while. But that's my GBU. Frank, what you got, buddy?
My GBU is new international champion Kyle Fletcher. Him and Takeshita, great match on Dynamite. We've said it before, and we continue to say it. Kyle Fletcher, he's not going to win the world title this year.
No,
I can't see that happening, but he is a definite world champion in the future. Maybe next year. So at some point next year, I can see the title being around his waist. But he just, him, Takeshita, Ospreay, this team just keep getting better and better and better. I honestly would treat those guys, if Tony Khan was smart, he would treat those guys like Triple H, Triple H, The Rock, and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
And just build those guys and just make those three guys the pillars of the division, and just and throw MJF in there too. They have those four guys just go around and around and around. And
yeah, we talk about, AEW would talk about the pillars, man. Those guys are the pillars of that company right now, in my opinion.
And that's what you got to build around. That they could be, like you said, the next Triple H, Rock, Mick Foley, Stone Cold type group, and re-energize it, because AEW needs.
Yeah,
they're getting better. Like their pay-per-views, I think, have gotten better. It's just weekly, their weekly shows. Maybe drop a few titles. Merge a few of the titles.
Yeah,
cut down on all that stuff, because you mentioned it to Justin. 18 titles between AEW and Ring of Honor?
Yeah, 10 belts alone in AEW. 10. You don't need that many belts. When you have that many belts, they diminish each other.
Yeah.
If anything, what they should do is they should merge obviously they should merge. We said it before, we said it again. They had the perfect chance to do it and they didn't do it. They need to merge the international and the continental titles together and just call them the Intercontinental title. It's right there in the friggin' name. I would even go so far as I would merge the TNT title and the national title that they just made.
Yep.
And call that the AEW national television title.
Yeah.
Or something like that. There's no reason to have, there's no reason to have 4 mid-card belts. Okay.
No,
and I understand that the original idea of the international title was it was going to be a belt that they were going to share with other companies, and other companies were going to hold them. I know that the plan was that Tanahashi was going to hold it at one point, but it never happened because of contract issues. But that's not what the belt has become now. So,
yeah, and my bad is it's part of our introduction there. It's WWE, and it's bad, or you can say good, that SummerSlam is not selling out the way they want it to.
yeah. Oh, there's a lot to talk about there, man.
That's what you get when you keep jacking up the prices for the average person not be able to go.
Yep.
And, you string it into 2 nights. And now there's talk about making a Royal Rumble 2 nights.
Yep.
And possibly making Money in the Bank a 2-night event as well.
God. I'm telling you right now, if they can figure out a way to justify it, they'll turn every pay-per-view they possibly can into a 2-night event.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing with TKO. It's not about what's best. It's not about what's best for business. It's not about, it's what can we make the most money off of right now?
Yeah.
And that's been an issue with TKO, with Endeavor, with UFC. UFC got priced out to the point where most normal people can't go to see it anymore.
Speaking of UFC, Conor McGregor, how long did he last? How many seconds?
Dude, so here's the thing. I don't think he was going to win anyway. But freak things like that happen, man. I don't think he should have come back after the last injury he had. The last injury he had, where he snapped his friggin' shin. I don't know if people realize how bad of an injury that really is. Like, that's a career-ending injury. For most people, that's a career-ending injury. You don't come back from that. Normally from that. I can't remember. Who was it? Who was it that happened to them? And let's see, injury. He had an injury like that where he literally snapped. It was gross, man.
Yep.
It was like, you're not coming back from that, dude. And he retired after it. And I'm trying to pull it up here.
And then
but yeah, and it's, it happens, man. And I understand people being disappointed. I mean, and Connor's a shit talker and a half, man. And when something like that happens, it's disappointing, but it does happen. So I don't think he's coming back after this, though.
No,
I think that's it. I think he's done, and he doesn't really need to. But
and in my ugly, I could go a couple different routes, but Alexa Bliss versus Jade Cargill on SmackDown, awful.
Yeah,
bringing back Enzo and Cass. Now, fine, but you let Motor City Machine Guns and New Day go to bring these guys back.
I'm telling you right now, the whole reason that happened is because they wanted them to take a massive pay cut.
Yeah.
And they were like, no. And they're like, okay, well then leave.
All right, so let's bring back Uso and Cass. Not Uso, Enzo and Cass.
Anderson Silva, that's what I was thinking about.
Let's bring back Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do nothing with Bron Breaker, really. We're gonna do nothing with LA Knight. And we're gonna get rid of MCGS. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
MCMG, excuse me. MCMG.
Yeah, MCMG.
And a New Day.
Yeah. And I think that their thinking is that because those guys that they're bringing back were making a little bit of noise outside of the company, that, oh, well, we could snatch them up. And I gotta believe that. I know Bill Morrissey was upset with the way he was booked in AEW. He had to be.
Yeah.
It was such a big deal when he came in, and Tony Khan did absolutely nothing with him. Nothing with him. They probably took a pay cut to go to WWE with the hopes that they could rehab their careers there. But if recent events are any indication, they're going to go there, and they're going to be in the exact same place, if not worse, than they were from where they left. Because look at all the guys that went back, and WWE haven't done anything with them. Guys like Miro, guys like Aleister Black, those guys went running back to WWE as quickly as they possibly could, and literally got just abused.
Yep.
And a couple of them already got cut. So what's going to happen with these guys? If something doesn't really take off with them, the same thing's going to happen. So, but I don't blame them for going. But I don't blame Cass for going, because he wasn't being used for the shit in AEW either. So
just too much talent on both rosters.
Yeah,
way too much.
Yeah, and the thing is a lot of that talent is starting to age out, though.
It is. But you've got guys like Bron Breaker,
mm-hmm.
Obafemi, which they're actually doing something with, but they're not doing anything with some of these guys.
Yeah,
you got Ethan Page over there, you got Ricky Saints over there. Like, what are they really doing with these guys?
Nothing really. Setting them up to be fodder for Roman Reigns, for Roman, for Seth, for Cody, and just not really what they've done to they had 3 guys that were just friggin' nuclear hot in Gunther, LA Knight, and Bron Breaker. And they have dropped the ball on all 3 of those guys.
Yep.
All 3 of those guys. Literally, they have, I mean, they're still popular, but they're just not doing anything. You got LA Knight, who's stuck in the same spot that he's been in for the last 4 years. Okay, you pushed Jey Uso into the. I mean, you're pushing these guys that don't really have any substance to them into world title spots, and you've got these guys that are just nuclear hot, awesome in the best way possible. A couple of them are super young, coming up, that you could really turn them into something. Then you got guys like LA Knight, who are just nuclear hot. Gunther, who at one point was like the Thanos of the friggin' Marvel universe, of the WWE universe. I think I just threw every friggin' 3-letter acronym out there before I finally made it back to WWE. But and they've literally just completely flattened them.
Yeah. And you got, I don't know what their ticket sales are at right now for SummerSlam, but that's in 2.5 weeks.
Yeah. They're not good.
And you're bringing in guys like X-Pac, Rikishi, Undertaker, and Dudley Boys for SummerSlam weekend. Who cares?
Yeah. They are last year they did 113,000. Now obviously this was before they did the big price hike and all that stuff like that. So far they haven't even sold 50,000. They've sold, it's 22,000 for night 1 and 23,800 for night 2. That's it. And to put this into context, AEW's All In has sold more tickets than both of those nights. They're closing in on 30,000. And this is WWE after that monster boom year that they had, which is why I think they got 113,000 for a 2-day event like that. But I also think it's just because it's obviously the ticket prices. It's obviously the fact that it's diminishing returns. Like we said before, that's what was going to happen. It's going to start when they start doing all these 2-day shows. You're going to start getting diminishing returns. They didn't even sell out WrestleMania this year.
Nope.
They sold a buttload of tickets.
And they
had sold over 100,000, but they didn't sell out both nights.
No.
You know, and they're trying to use we shouldn't have gone back to Las Vegas for it. It wasn't just that. It was the massive price hike. It was just the creative wasn't what it was in the previous years. They got problems, and until they're willing to address it, and honestly, I don't think it's Hunter. I think
TKO.
It's TKO. It's these executives are sticking their freaking nose in and causing all these problems. It's the same reason why we're getting these weird bookings that are happening. And that's why I legitimately believe that's why a lot of these younger talents, these guys that they should be building towards the future for, because let's face it, Cody's in his 40s, Roman's in his 40s, and a lot of these guys don't plan on being here 5 years from now.
No, and the cheapest single night seat is $76. Cheapest.
Yeah, and that's after a price drop. They did a big price drop. So, and this is what we talked about. We said if they go to 2 nights, going to 2 nights for WrestleMania, okay, they saw what was going on with Wrestle Kingdom, 5 years before that. They said, well, we're WrestleMania, so we definitely could do that. WrestleMania being 2 nights, okay. These other shows, it's just not going to fly.
And what's going to happen? You're having these cities paying millions of dollars to have the event in their city.
Yep.
And they're not seeing an ROI. They're not seeing a return on their investment because less people are coming. So that means less money is going to be spent in their city.
Yeah.
WWE's making all this money from ticket sales and from the city giving them money to have their event there. But what is the city getting in return? If their sales if they're not even filling up the stadium 2/3 of the way, like 2/3 of it right now in Minneapolis for SummerSlam is empty. 2/3.
Yeah. 2/3. Yeah. And that's after a 25% price drop, which dropped it to $83. I think it was $83. So even after dropping the price by 25%, they're still not generating the heat that they want.
So why would you pay millions of dollars as a city to have an event there?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And we talked about this. We talked about the fact that, they're all looking at they're looking at their bottom line and like, oh man, we are making all this freaking money because of all these contracts that they have with all these different entities. But those entities are looking at those contracts going, hey, like you said, our return on investment is not what you said it was going to be. That's what happened with them in CBS. That's the reason why CBS didn't renew their contract with them. When they made that deal with Netflix, that was like a lifesaver for them because they weren't going to get another contract with CBS for not for $500 not for $500 million a year like they were getting. They weren't going to get anywhere near that because the return on investment wasn't what they promised them. They promised them, I think, between 2 and 3 million viewers. They promised them a consistent 3 million viewers, and they weren't able to deliver that, not on any kind of a regular basis.
Right.
So, and like I said, if their greed continues to push them in this direction like that, a lot of these friggin' cities and places that they want to do these shows, they're just not going to do it.
No. Or they have to pick a smaller venue.
Yeah. And there was also the fact that, and that, obviously they got a rush of brains to the head and they stopped it at the last minute. But that whole situation where they didn't want local bars and stuff to be able to broadcast the show when they on WrestleMania when it was in Vegas and the city was like, "Are you out of your freaking mind? You can't do that. You're going to kill the revenue for all these freaking businesses in our area."
Yeah.
So that kind of thinking is what's hurting them. It really is. And I also think that that's them sticking their nose into creative and causing these issues is a big part of the problem too. And I don't think that that's Hunter. But the thing is, it falls on Hunter's shoulders because Hunter is the head of creative. Even if he's got this boardroom of idiots in his freaking ear, he's the boss. He gets the gravy and he gets the grief.
Yep.
So he needs to figure out a way to get them to get out of their own damn way. Or it may be to the point where Hunter just doesn't care anymore.
He's head of creative, but he's letting Netflix dictate.
Nope.
He's letting Netflix dictate who should be on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's and
I mean, yeah, Netflix
every time,
money, but the people in charge of Netflix don't know wrestling.
Yeah. You there? Uh-oh. Frank's robot, and I think we lost him. Yeah, we wrote your robot in there. We lost you for a second.
You're yo-yoing on my end.
Yeah. I don't know if it's you or it's me. I'm not getting an alert on my end. So
I'm roboting on your end. You're roboting on my end. So one of us.
Well, normally when I have an issue like that, it starts. I get an alert from the program.
Blame me.
Yeah. But no, I get what you're saying, and you're 100% right. Yeah. So everybody that's listening, are you able to hear me okay? See what everybody's saying here.
I don't see any comments.
No, I don't see any yet either. So we'll wait because I know that a lot of the guys are driving or they're just listening in the background. But continue as expected. But no, and like this
deal with the turkey-turkiness.
Yeah. Power through, I guess. But
yeah.
And I do think that this is going to end up hurting them for the future. Because these guys that they need to build up to be able to step in to these roles that are going to be, emptied out within the next 5 years or so. from these guys that are going to want to move on to other, that are looking to move on to other things. We know Roman's looking at Hollywood. We know Cody's looking at other areas and into other things. He doesn't want to be in the ring full time. 5 years from now, he doesn't want when he's in his late 40s. These guys. Seth. We know Seth already said that this is probably his last full run.
Yeah.
So where are we going with this? You know what I mean? You've got these young guys, and at least, hey, what's up, Big Daddy? Appreciate you, sir. At least AEW are investing in these young guys and to build for their future. The fear is, the only fear in doing that is that they're going to pull a Mariah May, and they'll go jump to WWE and take all that build up momentum with them. But you can't think like that. You've got to look at the situation and be like, okay, we need to build for the future. And how do we do that? Well, we do it like this. So that's what they're doing. And WWE has 3 legit monster guys that could be huge stars. Huge. And well, actually, they've got 4 that could be just massive, massive, massive stars right now. And only one of them is getting pushed in any meaningful way, and that's Dom. Yep. That's Dominic Mysterio. That dude, I will give him all the credit in the world. I still think he needs to work on his in-ring. He's a lot better than he was. He needs to stop using his friggin' his dad's moves. But when he wrestles more like a traditional wrestler, he's great. His character work is next level. So he's getting pushed properly. Everybody else isn't. But they've got 4 guys. Those 4 guys could be the nucleus for the next 10, 12 years. In Gunther, Dom, Breaker, and maybe not LA Knight, but LA Knight's definitely he's definitely hotter than freaking Jay freaking Uso.
Yeah.
Jacob Fatu's another guy I would throw in there. Thank God they're finally starting to do him better. Instead of having him, they've got him kneel into Roman, which I still think is a mistake. But, and then they've got a couple of young guys coming up, guys like Javon Evans. They've got this talent that's there, that's available. They need to start building these guys up. And when they do build them up and give them some momentum like they did with Braun, don't freaking cut their legs out from underneath them just because some executive at TKO tells you to. Oh no, we need to have this person in that position going into this program because that's where the money's at.
Yep.
Okay, well, what are you going to do when you kill your future? At least like I said, one of the things that AEW does right, they do really, really well. We've said this before. The things they do wrong, they do horribly wrong. But the things they do right, they do extremely well. And one of those things is building talent, building young talent. And they've done an amazing job. Of doing that. And they've got 5 wrestlers on their roster that are being pushed into major league territory, and they're all less than 30. MJF, who's a now 3-time champion there, who is the top heel in the company, just turned 30 years old. That guy's going to be around for another 10, 15 years. You know what I mean? They're doing the right thing in building towards the future. They're respecting the guys that are there now, that are at the top right now. But they're also building these other guys in a way that's going to let them step into that role immediately when it happens. And I would like I said, like we talked about, like Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher is a megastar in the making.
Yep.
And he is the next Will Ospreay, in my personal opinion. And the fact that the 2 of them having a feud like that, if anybody is gonna because look, it's all but a foregone conclusion that Will's going to win it All In.
Yeah.
And it needs to happen. He needs to be the world champion. If I'm booking that future, I'm letting Will Ospreay hold that belt all the way till I'm letting him hold that belt till All In next year. And then the person that takes that belt off him is going to be Kyle Fletcher. That's the way I'm booking that. I'm giving Kyle Fletcher the Randy Orton treatment. That's the level of talent that I think Kyle Fletcher has. I think Kyle Fletcher could be the next Randy Orton. And if that's the way I would do it. And because they've put him in that position, him doing that actually makes sense. And if it happened, it wouldn't be like some weird feeling or like some of the stuff that that WWE have pulled in the last couple of months.
Right.
It would 100% fit. And, and then, I mean, we know other guys that are coming up. We know that guys like Nick Wayne are going to be friggin' awesome when they get older. That guy's not even 20 years. That guy's 20. I don't even think he's 20 years old yet. So AEW, and I'm tell you what, man, if AEW keeps going the way that they're going and they keep improving and they keep working, they're going to start. They're starting to build a little bit of that momentum back that they had. As long as they don't do anything really stupid,
yep.
I think they'll continue to build that momentum. And this deal that went through with Warner Brothers Discovery and Paramount, apparently him and Tony Khan he's got a really good relation with the two guys, the family that owns Paramount. So there's a good chance that AEW's future is not in as much peril as some people want to think that it is.
Dumb. Like AEW's not going anywhere.
No, he's got too much friggin' money. He's got too much friggin' money. I know a lot of people compare him to what's her name from TNA, Dixie Carter. The difference is that he actually has the money. Dixie Carter didn't. So, and let's be honest here, Dixie Carter didn't know jack shit about the wrestling business. So, but yeah, like, and if they keep pissing these guys off, they're gonna do what happened, 5 years ago when AEW was hot. They're gonna jump ship and leave.
Yep. And
some of them might actually, hit the friggin' mark, like John Moxley did. So now, do I think do I think WWE cares about that? No. But as time goes on and people start, their product, wanes, which it's doing right now, you're going to start seeing issues pop up, and like we are seeing with ticket sales, because creative is a part of the reason why, uneven creative is a part of the reason why their ticket sales are soft. It's also the prices, and it's also just the environment. But in this, the greed factor from TKO and trying to turn every freaking event into a 2-night event, we knew from the start that probably wasn't going to work. At least not from our perspective. But the other thing that they're looking at, and this is the reason why I don't think TKO is going to change course. They're like, yeah, our tickets, our 1-day ticket sales aren't anywhere near what they would be, what they were before. But in most circumstances, they're still better than if we ran the show for one night.
Yes.
Because right now, like I said, they got 2.5 weeks left. And for night one, they've sold. So right now they're at 22 and 23. We'll just call the difference and say 24. So that's 46,000 tickets sold. If it was a one-night event, so 46,000 tickets sold. If it was a one-night event, it would probably sell around the same thing, around 50, 60,000. is what they're looking at. That's their thinking. So better to run it 2 nights and get extra ad revenue, which I guarantee you is what they're looking at. And I guarantee you there's going to be a mountain of commercials on those freaking shows.
No, of course.
Oh my God, it's going to be a freaking nightmare. And that's what that's their thinking. They're not thinking about what it's going to do to the product in the future. They're thinking how much ad revenue we're going to get because we're running a 2-night program. And unfortunately, that's what we're going to be dealing with and contending with for the future. That's the future of WWE under TKO. And unless some situation happens where TKO sells the company, I don't think that's going to change.
No, it won't.
So the question now is, what does that mean for guys like Bron Breaker and Gunther? And, when they, if and when they finally get their chance, how much colder are they going to be? Or is someone else going to come up and steal their spot because WWE cooled them off and they never got a chance to be what they could have been? That's the thing that I'm looking at with Gunther and Braun, especially. Like, they're giving you the best years of their life, and they're not getting the return in it.
Definitely not.
So what do they do? What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
Because I don't think jumping ship is necessarily the best thing to do. Because we know how Tony Khan books. He's got his favorites. And unless you do something to really, really, really change his opinion of you, and we know that, and Braun's a bigger guy. He's not, and I wouldn't call him a big man, but he's a bigger guy. I don't know that they would do well in AEW or any better than they're doing in WWE. So then what? Do they go to a smaller company where they can dominate?
New Japan.
Oh, New Japan would snatch those guys up in a heartbeat. But New Japan's not going to pay it's not going to pay the money that they want. And 2, they're going to have to spend at least half their time in Japan.
Right.
So what do they do? They're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. It's unless they can figure out a way to elevate themselves, or hopefully, if you were to jump ship, if they were to leave WWE and go to AEW, is Tony Khan going to be able to break himself from his normal cycles to actually capitalize on someone like that? Because let's be honest, man, the last couple of people that jumped ship over there haven't exactly worked out all that much to their betterment. The Hurt Syndicate, they've cooled off a lot because they're not being booked, the way that they probably should be. A freaking Ciampa, he's having some fun and he's doing some really cool matches. He's working with some cool people, but he's not anywhere near the title scene.
Nope.
He's not near any title scene. So I don't know, man. It's one of those situations where it's like Punk said in that promo that he did when it was him and MJF. He's like, the grass isn't always greener over in the other company.
It is not.
So I honestly don't know what Breaker could do, or what those guys can do, but 100% Breaker, especially Bron Breaker, dude. Someone needs to write a paper on the rise and fall of this dude in WWE's booking, because he went from being the next big thing to playing second fiddle to a freaking love triangle angle. And I don't know if they're going to do something where he's going to leave the vision and go off on his own, and then maybe Heyman will friggin' come back and be his mouthpiece or whatever. or something like that. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with him. But they need, but the way that they're booking him right now, he's dead. He's dead in the water. So I don't know.
And are they gonna put those guys again, Austin Theory and Bron? Are they really gonna put them against Otis and Tozawa?
Maybe on Saturday night's main event or something like that, and just have them kill them. That'd be about it. But yeah, it's like that's the feud now. That's their big thing. They went from feuding with Seth Rollins, the top guy, one of the top stars in the company, to Otis and Tozawa. Really? Like that's sheesh, man.
So stepping up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Big step up. But I don't know, man. It's one of those situations where you're just like you see it happening, you don't know what to do. You don't want to see it happen because they're too damn good for that. You know, Bron Breaker's too good to be in that position that he's in. Freaking Gunther is he's definitely too good to be in the position that he's in. And the thing that's frustrating is some of the people that are being pushed are like, they're nowhere near as good. Jey Uso couldn't carry Bron Breaker's jock strap or Gunther's. No, he's an entrance. That's all he is.
Yep.
But because he's part of the bloodline, he gets preferential treatment. Let's be honest with it. It's freaking it's nepotism, man. 100%.
And can they please stop calling him main event? He's not main event.
He's not. He's loudmouth entrance Uso. That's what he is. He's an entrance, man. And oh my God, and that's the thing. Oh jeez, God, this clap thing that they're trying to do with Chad Gable. I'm like, dude, don't do this. They're trying to do another yeet with him. But the thing is, with the whole yeet thing, that kind of happened organically. And even though I thought it was dumb, that's how it got over. It got over organically. You try to force and manufacture something like that, it's just not going. Same thing, like Austin with the what chant. As annoying as it was just something that happened. You know, and I'm looking at this. I'm going, please don't do that, because if you do, and it just does, it looks cheesy, and it's just going to hurt his push. So I don't know, but I have big concerns for those guys. I think they're way too talented to be languishing like that, and I just hope and pray that that WWE gets a rush of brains to the head and realize that, and get if anything, I don't know why you don't build Oba and Braun as like foils going forward in their careers, because that's what every freaking guy's got to have his arch enemy. You know, Austin had his Rock. You know, Brett and Sean. You know, that's the classic formula. They need an enemy. They need a foil. Like right now, Roman and Seth. Yep. You know, they need that. And I think part of that, part of why Cody is struggling is because he doesn't have that. Not really. They kind of tried to make it into Roman, but it wasn't like they don't have the history that Roman and Seth has. So now's the time when you could build something like that. And if I was them, I would build it between Braun and Oba. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Build it between them, you know, or Gunther and Braun or something. Do something like that. But I don't know. Anyway, is there anything else you want to talk about, man?
I am good, sir.
Yep. And I'm sure there's going to be more things coming down the pipe.
Yep.
But again, guys, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We apologize, and we know that it was a little weird having to push the show later tonight.
But we did it on a Tuesday, all right?
Yep, we did it on a Tuesday. We're trying to get better at this. But we appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody that was here tonight. Big Daddy, in all of his identities is Jay Brony, Protegio Fidelis El Guardian, Big Daddy Leg Kick Maldacito. Everybody that was lurking. I was talking to Big. By the way, guys, I was talking to Boogie and Antonio. I'm going to see if maybe I'm going to talk to them, see if maybe we can work something out, get one of them or both of them on the show at some point in the future. Touch bases again. Antonio's doing a comic book with Maven.
Yeah, he is.
For anybody that's interested in that, so go check that out. That looks kind of cool.
Yeah, over on Kickstarter.
Over on Kickstarter. Special cover being done by the box office artist James Reyes. If you know anything about comics or YouTube, he's one of the biggest artists on YouTube. Awesome guy, love him. Big wrestling fan, and just an all around awesome guy. So, but appreciate you guys, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.